Hi, everyone. Welcome to this live stream, Attract More Customers Using Digital Tools and the Black-Owned Business Attribute, hosted by the U.S. Black Chambers, Inc. and Grow with Google. Grow with Google helps people grow their skills, careers, and businesses by offering free digital skills, trainings, and tools. I'd love to start off by thanking our partner, the U.S. Black Chamber, for joining us in today's workshop. We're excited to work together with this organization to provide support to Black-owned businesses around the country. We want this workshop to be as helpful as possible, so make sure to post your questions directly under this live stream video on the Grow with Google on-air site, and our team will respond to all your questions directly in the Q&A after this virtual event concludes. If you'd like to access additional resources for this class, click the Resources tab at the top of the screen. You'll also be able to access a replay of this virtual event in the future by clicking the On Demand tab on the Grow with Google on-air homepage. And also, don't forget to post and share with us on social using hashtag Grow with Google. Finally, you'll also have the option to turn on YouTube's closed captioning to follow along. If you want to do that, click the closed captioning button directly on the video player on your screen. All right. Now let's kick it off with introductions. I'm Basim. I'm one of the instructors here with the Grow with Google team. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. Also in today's workshop, you'll be hearing from Ron Busby Sr., President of the U.S. Black Chamber. Then you'll also hear from John Anukum. He's an engineer at Buy Black US and also the U.S. Black Chamber. Thanks both to Ron and John for being here with us today. All right, let's get started. All right, we're going to take some time and break this workshop into 3 different sections. First, we will talk about resources from the U.S. Black Chambers, including the Black Business Certification, and also a website where you can register as a Black business. In the second section, we will discuss tools to help you and your business appear across Google, including search engine optimization and business profiles on Google Search and Maps. And then third, we'll wrap things up and we'll talk about your next steps and resources. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to pass it over to Ron to talk about the U.S. Black Chambers.
Well, John, I'm looking forward to having you speak on behalf of Buy Black. Basim, thank you so much. And Google, truly appreciate this opportunity to discuss the priorities of the U.S. Black Chamber, as well as how we see Black businesses grow through the relationship with Google. Again, my name is Ron Busby, and I'm the President and CEO of the U.S. Black Chambers, Inc. Founded in 2009 here in Washington, D.C. Our mission really is about growing our economy. The U.S. Black Chambers, Inc. provides committed, visionary leadership and advocacy in the realization of economic empowerment. And we do that through creation of resources and initiatives. We support African American chambers of commerce and business organizations in the work of developing and growing Black enterprises. We began in 2009, as I stated, with 6 chambers. Today, we represent over 145 chambers located in 42 states and have a membership base of over 332,000 Black-owned businesses. We were founded on our 5 key pillars, those being advocacy. The reason that we're here in Washington, D.C. is to ensure that our voice is being heard as well as being implemented on policy and other critical decisions as it relates to Black-owned businesses. Our second one is access to capital. And we understand the importance of financial institutions, particularly Black-owned institutions, to create avenues by which Black businesses can gain greater access to credit, capital, and other financial instruments. Our third one is about contracting, and all of our businesses are looking to grow, and that can be done through 3 critical components. The first one is government, and where are we spending our money with Black businesses through the federal, state, and local governments? Our second one is corporate America, and how do we grow their supply chain with Black-owned businesses? And the third one is really where are Americans, particularly Black Americans, spending our dollars? Our fourth one is about entrepreneurial training to ensure that our businesses have the acumen and skills that they need to develop to be able to grow and have sustainability and successful long-term businesses. And our last one is really about chamber development. We understand that chamber leadership is really about moving economic conditions for both local businesses as well as national businesses. And we understand that we here in the U.S. Black Chamber are only as strong as our weakest chamber. And so once a year, we bring all of us together, but monthly we have ongoing conversations with local chambers to ensure that they understand the resources as well as the skills that they need to be able to have great local chambers as well as local businesses. By working with the local USBC chamber, you now have the critical instruments and acumen that you need to be able to grow your local business. They provide a myriad of services, information, access to capital, as well as contracts. So go to the US Black Chamber's website to find out where your local chamber is, how you can partner with them, find out more information about them, as well as the other resources that they have, such as supply chain opportunities with corporate America, access to local banks, CDFIs, and other lending partners, and most importantly, just about information to grow your local communities as well as your local business. You can make sure that you register your Black-owned businesses as 51% owned or more by an African American by going to buyblack.us to start the first phase by onboarding your business to ensure that you have the opportunity to participate not only with the U.S. Black Chamber, but to our corporate partners, our federal government partners, as well as other Americans looking to do business with your firm. So visit buyblack.us so that you can learn more information about the U.S. Black Chambers. You can be a part of our ever-expanding network that serves the platform across all of your business needs. Now, no one knows exactly how to support Black-owned businesses. In this era of buying Black, a Black Lives movement, a Black Lives being really at the forefront of this conversation, we need to make sure that we are identifying businesses that are truly Black owned. And thus the U.S. Black Chamber has created the Buy Black platform that will allow yourself to be able to onboard your business to ensure that both individuals and consumers that are looking to do business with Black businesses, as well as corporate America, can find us. The number one concern that we have when we talk to corporate America about doing more business with Black firms is two. One, either they can't find us, and two, we don't have the size and the scale. By certifying your business with buyblack.us, you'll be able to accomplish both of these. This will allow us to find other Black businesses that we can partner with, we can do joint ventures with, as well as we can do things creatively as mergers and potentially acquisitions. You'll also be able to make sure that where it makes sense, we can partner together to go after larger opportunities. All of our certifications are multicultural. All the others are about MWBEs, minority women entrepreneurs. In this case, we are truly saying we are Black-owned businesses, and you need to be certified as a Black-owned business so that we can make sure that you're counted, you're measured, and that you're acted upon. So with that, I would love to turn the relationship and the conversation over to my good friend, John Anukum.
Thanks, Ron. And so I'll talk a little bit more about our solution as Buy Black and what we hope to bring as a platform. So again, our promise and solution. The United States Black Chambers is, hoping to build a tool to find and support Black business. And we're looking to do that through three key areas. The first of which is certifying business information, right? So it's important, and while we recognize the importance of self-identification as a Black business owner, we also recognize that in addition to that, there also needs to be a mechanism for you to certify that business information to democratize the access that you have as a Black business owner to the large universe of enterprises looking to do business with you. And in whatever way, shape, or form we can look to support you as a platform, Buy Black's hope is that in doing so, we make access more available, not just to you, but also to the enterprises looking to support you. Number two is through connecting the diverse universe of Black business. So in addition to connecting you with larger enterprises and supplier diversity programs looking to do business with you, it's also important to be able to make those B2B relationships as easily and as seamless as possible. Imagine your entire supply chain can be Black by using Buy Black as a platform to find and support those other Black businesses as a Black business owner yourself. And third, and most importantly, is just making sure that we are developing a platform and not just a directory. And so we'll talk a little bit about all of these more in some of the future slides. So for starters, we plan to certify at scale. And so what that means is that we're looking to develop algorithms, APIs, and business owner documentation to support a network of not just 140 chambers of commerce, but the 2.4 million Black businesses in America. And so to get started, you can check out certification.byblack.us and use promo code BLACK. So again, we aren't just building a directory of Black business. We're looking to build a platform for their owners, for Black business owners specifically. And so what does that entail? Well, first, if we just build a search engine, right, to find Black businesses, we recognize that that won't be enough. Black entrepreneurs need resources, they need education, they need connections, and things that the USBC provides every day to its members. We recognize that Buy Black as a platform can be a channel for the priorities of Black business owners. So a few examples that come to mind of how we can enable and support Black business owners are providing business grants, whether that be from corporations looking to do business with Black people, enabling supplier diversity pipelines to match with companies looking for B2B opportunities. So you can imagine you're a Black grocer and you're looking to have an opportunity to source from Black farmers, right? Connecting businesses to resources through local chambers. And then, of course, education and skills building for Black business owners, whether that's online training like the ones that you see now, or even additional resources and information that's brought about by community building, being able to connect with the unique issues that you have as a Black business owner in your sector with other Black business owners in that same sector. Buy Black looks to be a platform to hopefully support in all of those different arenas. Great. So what's next? Well, first, definitely be one of the first and earliest adopters as we start to create a standard of what it means to be Black in business. Definitely make sure to check out byblack.us to get more information, to refer businesses that might be interested in being certified as Black owned, and then also to sign up through our onboarding form to get more updates and information about what's coming next. Definitely make sure to follow the US Black Chambers on social media. And if you have any issues, whether it be with certification or onboarding your business, to email us at support@byblack.us. And then make sure to tell Black businesses that you know that this is the certification that we intend to use to identify your ownership as a Black business owner. And finally, of course, start certifying your business at certification.byblack.us. And don't forget to use promo code BLACK. Thank you. And over to Basim.
Thanks, John. All right, so let's start by talking about how Google helps businesses to reach their current and future customers. So really, you want to think about searches, right? The sheer volume of searches online. There are lots of searches, billions on Google every single day. Each search is an opportunity for you to connect with people who are looking for the information that they have their questions, or looking for what you have to offer. And the data shows that a lot of people are searching for information about local businesses, simple things like hours and driving directions on how to get to those businesses. All right, so let's think about this real quick. Has anyone out there made a large purchase in the last year? Maybe a car, a television, or a phone, right? So when you think about that, how many of you actually started that journey, that search, actually at a physical store? Did you go to a store and speak with a sales clerk? Or did, like John mentioned before, you started that search online, right? With a Google search, right? I bet many of you, if not most of you, started online. That's what most people do these days. And it's for all types of purchases, not just large purchases, not just the big ones, right? And if you did some shopping research online, you might have started by reading some customer reviews. Maybe you did some price shopping, compared shipping costs and warranties. The key thing to understand is that customers, we're professional consumers, right? We go online, we find everything and anything we need to know about which products we may or may not want to purchase. And before we even step foot in that door, or actually go to make that purchase, we have all the information that we need. So the key takeaway is that, customers often have a lot of information about those products and services before they even contact the business or visit the store. So now, like your website, this might be the new front door, the new first interaction a potential customer has with your business, right? And also research shows that people are more concerned with their need in the moment than any particular brand. And that's important. This means that even if your business is brand new, right, an unknown business, you've got a shot at winning a searcher's business if your online presence helps them in that critical micro moment. All right. So with all this in mind, let's look at the different ways Google helps searchers define you online. All right. The first thing you need to understand is that when you're actually doing a search on Google, a lot of people think that when you type that in, or and actually really never thought about this, but I type in what we call a search query, right, into Google search, you press enter, you get that, those results in a fraction of a second. No one really actually thinks about what's happening. Is Google scouring the entire web, trying to find the best answer for your question and presenting it to you in a fraction of a second? No, right? The technology isn't there, right? So what is actually happening is Google actually is building what we call the Google index, right, of the web. So all those billions and billions of websites out there, Google has software, search bots, search crawlers. Ours is called the Google bot that hops from link to link to link across the World Wide Web and indexes the important information about the content on the pages of those websites and makes them readily available in the Google index. I like to think of it as a library, right? A library of all the billions of websites that are out there in the World Wide Web. When you go to a library, you don't simply just walk down this one aisle and say, I'm going to look for this book here. Of course, maybe it's your local library that you've been to many times. But if it's a new library you've never been to, the first thing you're going to do when you're looking for a book is you're going to either consult with a librarian or you're going to go to the catalog, right? And the librarian's going to go to the catalog and she's going to tell you the fastest way or the exact location of exactly what you're looking for. And that's what Google does. We index all the information in the World Wide Web. And then based on your actual question that you put in, we give you the best answers to that question in a fraction of a second. All right, so just to kind of look at it a little bit more. So the information is stored in Google's index. So the Google bot processes each page it indexes, and it takes note of the important information from keywords to the website's freshness, and it stores it in the index. The index, like I said, is like a book, right? And it's like a book, and every single word on the page, each page of those books is contributing towards actually contributing towards that huge index. So think of every page in your website like a page in a book. The better the content, the better results you're going to have in Google search. So every time someone searches Google, that search is looking for information that's stored and organized in this giant index. Right? And there are lots of searches happening, right? So like I said before, but when you think about it, more than 1 trillion searches each year worldwide. Now, for me, that's kind of really hard to process. So think of it like this. Boom. That's 1 second. And in that 1 second, Google just processed about 40,000 searches. Okay, so 40,000 searches just happened in that second. And it's important to understand that for each of the corresponding search results pages, how did Google decide on which websites to display, right? And these decisions all happen automatically. And that's basically the work of a computer algorithm. Google's algorithm considers more than 200 factors or signals to really help determine based on basic criteria like language, location of the searcher, and what type of device is being used. Other signals include like the age of the content on the site, on the web page. Is this relevance to the search query, and whether the page provided good user experience? Right? These are all part of what Google helps or uses to help determine what results show up organically on Google search. And after identifying the best results from the information that's stored in the index, Google will then present that results to the searcher. And it's all done in a fraction of a second. All right, so let's take a look at an example search result. All right, so when someone searches on Google, we called it before, it's a query, right? That question you put in, it's either a question that's describing what they actually want to find on the web. Google's job is to show, like I said, the most relevant information on the search results page to that searcher, right? In that exact moment in time for what they're looking for. So in today's world, the consumer, they expect to find exactly what they're looking for without taking too much effort, right? And too much of their time. So once they press enter on the screen, right now we can see here is a search result page. I'm sure this looks familiar to you. So the tips in today's workshop are especially relevant to the search results you see in the center of the page, right? You look at the center of the page. These are what we call organic or natural search results. The information presented on each site that is organic, this is called a snippet. And it's important to understand, if you don't know what an organic or natural search result is, this is a result that's showing up based on simply Google understanding that these are the best results for this particular question without any monetary payment, right? So no one's paying for placement here. It's just the best result based on Google's algorithm. And each snippet, when you look at those snippets, they include a URL. They also include page titles. They're usually they're in green. And usually a page description that gives searchers more information about what lies behind this click. Some search results will actually show a business profile on the right side of the page. And of course, this is from a desktop view. Incidentally, this information in the business profile can be managed by the business owner with a free tool called Google My Business. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. So the search results may display relevant ads, right? So these ads are served by a product called Google Ads. And this illustration, it points out where the images of a product can appear at the top of the page. These are called shopping ads. You may also see text ads in the search results labeled with that ad sticker. Clearly calls out that this is a paid advertisement. Also, if you actually happen to get to the bottom of a search result page, the last section on the bottom will actually list what we call related search queries. This is a cool feature that helps you to see what other people are searching for. It can also help you to refine your search and get some insight onto how people search on Google. All right, so let's give this a try. I'll give you a couple seconds here. Open up a new window, right? Don't do this in the tab that you're in, or a new tab, right? And visit google.com. Now, when you're thinking about your business and some of the keywords that apply to your business, for instance, if I own a clothing store and when I'm talking about keywords, you don't want to put in the name of your store, right? You should, hopefully, right? You should definitely be showing up if you search for your brand name, right? That's easy, right? But then let's think about when people don't know who you are. And this is important, right? So if people know who you are, they can put your name and they find you. That's great. But we want people to be able to find you who don't know who you are, right? So when you type in this search, you want to think about services, products that you offer that you would like to show up, right? So if you're in the clothing store and you want to say, top fashion, in today, whatever it may be, right? Or if you're preparing for the winter, fall fashion, right? Start typing in phrases that you would like to show up, right? And after you put that in, take a look. Do you show up, right? If yes, awesome, right? What does it say? How does it look? Where do those clicks, when you click on that, actually take you to on your site? If no, what sites do show up, right? And then if you're looking at those sites that are showing up, do you recognize these businesses, right? And these are important things to really understand when you talk about showing up organically in Google search. So I'll give you a moment, take a look. Hopefully we're all smiles. If not, we got some tools coming up to help you out along this journey. So now that we know how we appear across Google search and search results pages, let's take a look at some tips that you can use to help address any potential issues. In this next session, we're going to dive deeper into the ways you can help your site appear in various sections using SEO or search engine optimization and some tips and tools from Google. All right, so we talked about this before, but now we're going to hop into this. A Google My Business profile. A lot of you, we interact with Google Business profiles all the time. Anytime you're looking, especially from a local standpoint, this is really where Google My Business is all about, is helping you to find businesses locally. I travel a lot for work, and anytime I'm looking for a place to eat, I look for restaurants near me. I look for a specific thing near me, or gas, whatever it may be you're looking for. Those profiles that you interact with, a lot of people think that Google put those there, but that's actually the responsibility of the business owner. The business owner sets those profiles up and they manage the information that shows in that profile. So in this slide here, we can see here the business profile of Source Booksellers and how it appears on both a mobile device as well as on a computer. So Google My Business, is important to understand, does not replace a business website. It can help your profile stand out in search results and on map, and also sends potential customers to your site, right? And that's important. Your business profile is automatically optimized for whatever device it's actually being displayed on. So creating a profile is important, right? It really helps you to control the details that show up and display in Google, like things like business hours, right? Contact information, your store locations if you have a physical location, right? Photos, videos, and more. And so they're all up to date. It's the responsibility of you, the business owner, of course, to keep that up to date and consistent across Google search and maps. And so once you set up your business profile on google.com/business, you have the option to add attributes. Attributes are important. A lot of people don't put their attributes in. And this is a really important thing because it helps your business to stand out. We filter and we use attributes all the time to help locate businesses that we want to support or have exactly what we're looking for. And you can see here in this image on the slide, it shows a business profile of Source Booksellers. At the bottom of their profile, it shows the Black-owned attribute. It shows a sideways heart that also represents a bee. As people look for ways to support the Black community, there has been a surge in Google searches for Black-owned businesses. And so in partnership with the US Black Chambers, Inc., Google has launched a Black-owned attribute for business profiles in the US to help people easily extend that support. For a step-by-step instruction on how to actually add that Black-owned attribute, you can find a PDF in the resources section above the video player. So take a moment, check that out, and then we'll move on. Also, the marketing kit. So marketing kit allows you to share the latest updates and highlights about your business. So to help customers stay informed about your business, marketing kit allows you to create custom posters, social posts, and even more from reviews, updates on your business profile on Google. And this is all free. If you visit g.co/marketing kit, enter your verified Google My Business name, and you can get started. And you can see here in this marketing kit, it shows the creative poster and social media post, and of course, that digital icon. Okay, so here are a few specific and relatively non-technical tips that can help when it comes to appearing in organic search results. First, you want to regularly publish relevant original content. This is important when we talk about publishing relevant original content. It's not simply just updating your website, and it's not just about throwing random keywords on your site. It's important that the content that you are presenting is relevant to the people that are visiting your site. Relevance drives engagement. Engagement, of course, increases the traffic and, of course, how long you retain people, which, of course, tells Google that you have what people are looking for, right? It all goes full circle. But the content has to be relevant, and people need to stay, and you want people to engage, right? And not just putting random keywords. It's not just about keywords. It's about the content that those keywords are included in. Also, you always want to lead with your most important information. A lot of people hide all of the important information somewhere in their site behind clicks. If your goal is to get people to call your business, keep your phone number prominent on the top of every single page. It should be there. And there's a whole bunch of other things around that. Just simply like from a mobile standpoint, if you have your phone number on your page, that phone number should be clickable, right? Little things like that go a long way. Bulleted lists help make text more readable. So definitely go with those bulleted lists to make life easier. And while there's no rule of thumb around this, the more frequently, like I said before, you update your pages, the more likely it is you're going to show up in search engine results. There's no like, all right, update pages every whatever amount of time. Just keep your content fresh. Blogs are a great way to do that, or just simply changing content from here and there. And as you publish your content, make sure to keep it well organized. When your website is organized in a logical manner with clearly labeled areas, it helps human eyes to more easily find what you're looking for. And it also helps Google algorithm to understand your content better. Every page on your site should include a title and description. That's part of the code. Many content management systems or CMSs like Wix or Squarespace or WordPress, they include sections where you can enter this text in. Definitely use it, right? And don't leave it simple, right? So a lot of people, when they talk about their page titles, you have page title, home, about us, blog, episode number 37, right? That doesn't tell me anything, right? So if I have a blog and I'm just, putting in blogs and about my tips and tricks on being a better business owner, episode 37 is about how to be more organized. I'm not going to label it, the title blog episode 37, or I could say maybe blog episode 37, how to better manage your business, right? So now when people see that or see that title, they now know what lies behind that click. And now also Google also knows what lies behind that click. And so then when they're presenting your page, or that actual page title is what shows up in that green text on the search results. So now people can see what lies behind the click, and Google knows what to show people, so they know what's on your site. That's really important. So take your time to really label those titles to drive better engagement. Same thing with images, right? Images should be clear. They should be in focus. They should look right for the website design. It's almost always better to use real photos. When I talk about real, not stock photos. And before you add any images to your site, just make sure you actually have the permission to do so. And when you talk about your images, the same exact thing applies to images as it does the title of your site. Give that image a proper description. When we talk about a proper description, now I'm not talking about the actual file name of the image, but when you talk about putting your image in, if you're using a CMS or whatever, there will be an image title, right? Or if you're hand coding, it'll be the alt text that you're going to associate with that image. And it's important that alt text or that title for that image can help you show up in Google search results. Remember, when you look at Google, you have search results for all the web, you have search results for images, for videos, right? And those titles, those actual references is what Google uses to help determine what lies in that image. Google doesn't really understand the content in that image, but that title tells them what that's all about. So title those images appropriately. And if you're trying to think about, well, what's a good title for an image? You're not trying to clickbait people, right? It's important to understand that if you give an image a title just simply to get people to go to your site, even though that title has nothing to do with the image, people will not click on that image, right? They see the image, not what they're looking for. They go to the next image, right? That they're looking for. It's a visual. So they're not even going to click on that image. Right. But if you give them a title, right. And so think about it like if you actually took a physical photo, you printed it out and you want to keep it for your archive, when you write on the back of that photo or a Polaroid, remember those Polaroids? You write on that little tab on the bottom, all right. The information you write on the bottom, the people in that picture, what this image is about, maybe a date. These are things that really help to describe that image. And then when people find that image by that title, they say, ooh, this is what I'm looking for. And they click on that image. You want to think of it that way. Right? So that's the way you can really help to determine what's a good title for this image. And those titles will help bring people to your site. And so some of the things to think about is making sure that the image size is optimized for the web. This can be a little bit tricky because there are a couple things to kind of consider. One, the thing you want to consider most is a file size, right? A larger file size, of course, could mean higher quality image. More so from the sense of being able to print that image. If you're looking to print an image, of course, the larger the file size, the better. But it also takes a lot longer to load that larger file size. And really, when you talk about a file size on the web or in a screen, doesn't really hold as much weight as print. So really understand, and you can do some research on this, on really about what size that you really want to find for an actual image that will actually give you a good quality image with a fast load time. The second part of an image is the image size. So not the file size, the actual image size in the sense of dimensions, right? So dimensions for the web are measured in what we call pixels. And without getting too technical, you can make an image smaller. But, if you take that image, that smaller image, and you make the dimensions bigger by like clicking and dragging, I'm sure you guys have seen this, everything gets really pixelated and really blurry. So you want to find a good balance between the actual image size and the actual file size to get, great looking images and fast load time. And that's really important. It's really important to understand why we're kind of going into this, because you want your site to be optimized for load time. The probability of someone bouncing or leaving your site before really even doing anything increases by 32% as the load time goes from 1 second up to 3 seconds, right? And that is even worse. So if you think about it from a mobile device standpoint, it's actually 53% of visits are abandoned on a mobile site if it takes longer than 3 seconds, right? And so you already lost people before they even had a chance to look at your content. Okay, so here are some free tools that Google's providing to help you maintain your website and have good online presence. First things first is the Test My Site tool. We talk about Test My Site. This is all about whether your content loads quickly. You can simply go to g.co/testmysite, type in your website address or any page on your website, and then see how it does, right? And you're going to get a rating, good, bad, and ugly when you talk about the speed of your site. Like we said before, anything in that 3 second range is no good. So 3 seconds and above, if it takes that page to load, you're going to get a bad score. But we're not going to just give you a bad score. We're actually going to give you some tips and tricks via a download, right? So then you can basically just go and get a report on how to improve the speed of that particular page, which will probably translate to a lot of different pages in your site. All right, so we're not going to just give you a bad score, or we're going to give you some tips on how to improve the speed of that site. I understand that Google does, especially from a mobile standpoint, we do account how long it takes a site to load as part of which sites show up in those organic results. Right? And this is all going to be based on mobile speed tests. And it's not testing your site based on the computer you're on, right? So don't think, oh, maybe if I go to a different machine or if I'm off my phone, we're actually looking at the site structure and how long it actually takes that to load based on how your site is comprised, not based on your current connection or the machine you're on. So really understand that, do the test, check it out, And then, of course, get that report for those suggestions on what you can do to help speed up your site. Another tool that you can use to help your website appear in organic search results is a tool called Google Search Console. Search Console helps you to monitor and maintain your website's presence in Google organic search results across all devices. So here are some things that you can do with Search Console. We're going to just talk about a couple of them. We can literally do an entire workshop on Search Console, but we don't have that kind of time. So number one, you can make sure that your site is actually appearing in Google search results. And that's a really powerful thing. My favorite feature for Search Console is the ability to do what I call it is a forced reindex. And so what that means is like if you make a change to your site, changing content, you have to wait for the Google bot to find that change, update that change, or you can just basically say, hey, Google, I already made a change to the site. I would like you to take that change and update it as soon as possible. And you can do that through Search Console. You can also monitor how your site is performing. Search Console shows basically how Google and the world sees your website. So for example, you can see different reports that tell you which queries cause your site to appear in search results, which websites are actually linking to your site, if your site works well on mobile devices, and there's just so much more. Like I said, we can do an entire workshop on Search Console. Hopefully we have one done in the pipe, if not already recorded. So it's free. Definitely check it out. You can access it at g.co/search console. Another tool, free tool, again, Google Analytics. Most of you probably have heard of Google Analytics. If you haven't heard of Google Analytics, you need to go check it out right now, g.co/Google Analytics. And this is really all about just understanding what your site is doing. If your site is, I like to just say analytics just basically tells you if your site is working. You should have an idea of what people should be doing on your website. Google Analytics tells you that. It shows you all kinds of information, like what content people are viewing, how long they're hanging out on that page, what pages they click through on your site. Are people actually converting? If they're converting, what journey did they take towards conversion? Where people, if you're an e-commerce site, what part of the checkout process are most people dropping out, right, and abandoning their cart? Where people are coming from, right? And so if you have advertising campaigns set up across Google or any other platform, you can see which advertising, which investments really into your business are actually driving the highest return on investment. So you can see like people came from this ad and they didn't convert. So people came from this ad, I spent less on this ad and they're all converting. This is great. So now I can focus my money onto the things that are driving growth of my business and start, reallocating funds. So analytics, a free tool that really, just to sum it up, it just tells you whether your business is working, really helps you to generate great insight as to what steps you can take to help make improvements to your website to help grow your business. And to wrap it up with our tips, let's take another look at a tool that can help you find ideas for creating new content. This is for you bloggers out there. And of course, anyone else, when you're just trying to think about what content can I start populating on this particular page on my site. Google Trends. So when you talk about Google Trends, it's another free tool that's web-based that shows you the popularity of just different Google search terms. And so you simply just go to g.co/trends, type in your query, and then data is presented to you in a graph, really from a scale of 0 to 100, with 100 representing the peak search volume. If there's enough data, Trends can also show your forecast for search volume that's related to popular searches as well as rising searches. These are searches that have really been experiencing significant growth over time. And you can use this to really help to compare, find, and maybe even find some opportunities for different terms or phrases that can help drive content for your site, right? So definitely check it out, g.co/trends, and it's a free tool. And this is also goes into stuff like you can see geography as well. So you can compare different terms. In this case, our trend search is different yoga terms, vinyasa, Bikram, and hatha yoga, and see which ones have been trending over time. And if I'm looking to do a blog for my yoga blog, I can see here that this particular term is on the rise. I should really start focusing some content on looks like hatha yoga, right? Moving forward, and you can do it based on just the terms, or you can even do it from a geography standpoint. So things like fashion is important to understand, how that's really geography based. I can tell you fashion right now in New York is very different from fashion in Chicago, which is very different from fashion in California, right? And then if you're in New York and you have a shop in Brooklyn, you want to really see what's trending now in your area, as opposed to trying to see what's trending from a national standpoint or even a global standpoint. So you can focus it down to where your customers are and really what they're looking for. It's a great tool, free to use, g.co/trends. Check it out. So you can definitely, right now, like I said, check it out. Take some time, open up a web browser and visit g.co/trends if you haven't done so already. Make sure you open it in a separate window than the one we're viewing this video in, and into some terms that are related to your business. Like I said, narrow it down by location. You can even adjust the date range if you want to see how things are going for a particular time frame. And of course, explore those related search queries to help really get an idea of some other things that are related to the trend that you're, the term that you're searching for. All right, so to wrap up today's session, we've showed you different ways to reach customers online, showcasing how to bring visibility to your products and services in different areas across Google search pages. So now we're going to present you with a quick checklist for your next steps. All right, so you can find all these links that we're showing right here by clicking the Resources tab above the video player. First things first, visit buyblack.us to be recognized as a Black-owned business. Also, head over to google.com/business to set up a business profile. There you can also add that Black-owned attribute to help your business stand out. Like I mentioned before, you can use the marketing kits to generate posters, social posts, and more to help promote your business. And also visit the usblackchambers.org/cares-act to stay up to date about information on small businesses. Again, remember, you can find all these direct links in the Resources tab above the video player. And so thank you all for joining us today for the Attract More Customers Online Using Digital Tools and the Black-Owned Business Attribute. Hopefully you all learned something new. And thank you once again to our partner, the U.S. Black Chamber, for co-hosting with us today. Don't forget, you can find all the follow-up resources on the same page you're watching in the Resources tab above the video player. You can also access a recording of today's session by clicking On Demand at g.co/growonair. We'll also be sending you out a survey, right, in a follow-up email to fill out regarding your experience in today's virtual workshop. It's really important to get your feedback so we can quickly improve these sessions and offer content that is most helpful to you and the rest of our learners. Thanks again for joining us with Grow with Google here today. We'll see you next time.